Alrighty, welcome to the Eyeballs watching today. BJ is in the house, Stephen from Arizona, and Manage Roy all the way from Mumbai. Boy, there's some crazy things happening in India, according to Manage Roy. But it sounds like the courts and the family courts and alimony and custody and divorce are happening in India and other countries, just like it's happening in the West, because men are abusive and controlling and abusive. They use in the house. But anyhow, I had this inkling to do it's a little dreary and rainy here, and I did work out this morning, but I thought I would talk to the gentlemen out there, the good men that listen, the good ladies that have listened, and discuss some important topics. Mountain Monk, good to see you. Now, it says right here, I will leave the link of this description. This came up, about a year and a half ago, that 45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030, per recent projection. That's 6 years from now, 5.5, almost 5.5. Morgan Stanley published this article outlining women's impact on the American economy. Now, Morgan Stanley has been around. They're an OG of the investment world, banking and so forth. So I think they have a pretty solid data-driven analysis of the demographics going forward. It's like life insurance companies. They know when people die, so they call those formularies, so they can determine, based on this amount of money this person contributes to life insurance, we know they'll live this long, we'll have to pay out this amount of much, what have you. But anyhow, it looks like they have come up with a study basically citing shifting norms, that the modern day woman is working full time. She's able to take care of a lot of the needs that she once couldn't have due to a single income household when there was a husband and a father in the house, right? A lot of women today are now deciding to hold off on marriage because they want to go see the world. They want maybe ride the CC and do those things, okay? And they also mentioned the birth replacement rate is already trending below replacement. So if we're not having babies, the only way civilization moves forward is having families and having kids. Who gets that message? Muslim countries, basically Mexican and Latino American countries, right? Delart McGregor, welcome to you, brother. Good to see you back. BJ, accused me of controlling and abusive, but I was the level-headed one. She did me a favor. Trog is back. Jedi Dark Force, good to see you. Single life forever. I done provide bailout. He's done. Jedi Dark Force done providing any bailout. This percentage will only go up. Men are done with it. Steven says that 45% will be single and childless. Of the remaining 55%, what do you think will be single mothers? People need to look at history and realize who the Crusaders were, who the conquistadors were, and that came in and took over countries. And if there's no birth rate for countries to establish armies and defense, they're going to be taking over just like they were taken over 2,000, 5,000 years ago by the Moors. Or in Spanish, los moros. Now, the bedrock of any healthy society is the nuclear family, according to this article. And it's sad to think that we will see fewer and fewer families in the future, which of course means fewer children and happily married couples. Meanwhile, young women in their prime working years devote themselves to a career and a boss who doesn't truly care about them. Have promiscuous sex that has a negative impact on their mental health and miss out on the true lifelong fulfillment that comes with being a wife and mother. I'm reading this off this article. I will send this to you. Okay. Risk of divorce increases 81% when husbands refuse to do this one thing. What do you think that is? So that is the reality. That is the reality. It's quite interesting to see what's happening, what will happen, and what does this mean for men? If 45% of women are going to be single and childless, most likely head-medded, because our biology says men need to protect and provide, right? We need to protect and provide for our offspring and for the people we care about, our families, our tribe. Women are intended biologically, their bodies are set up, their biology is set up to birth and continue a bloodline. That is why they have menstrual cycles. That is why they have breasts for breastfeeding. That is why they have the hips ready to carry and to birth children. It is biology. It has nothing to do with EQUAL. It has nothing to do with the Skittles. It is biology. We are meant to progress and continue our legacy. Now, 45% aren't doing this and are going to be childless. What about the men? Where do the men fit in this? Men will try to do anything they can, the majority of men, to be in relationships, to have the title of a boyfriend or a husband, or I am married, or I'm in a relationship, I'm in a long-term, what have you. But we're going to see that that's not going to be the case. Going forward, it's going to be worse for men. Worse. Manage Roy, which men are considered alpha by women? Men who can walk all over them. That's what that men did. He knew that women are 304s by influencing her. He now let her suffer the consequences. Why care? Choices have consequences. Steven says we'll see more baby names like Mohammed and Pedro. Yeah, sure. 100%. Rad, South Korea has a birth rate of 0.68 children on women. I think it's doom and gloom. Fubar, no return. 50 years from now, what is this world going to look like? Are the maps even going to be the same geographic countries? Think about that. Been looking for a childless woman, says Fred Stowe. Good to see you. Granted, woman is a hard thing to find. More so, it's easy to find a childish woman. Huh. Well said, Fred. Trogue made a comment on a YouTube bit about are women adapting for something from Korea. No marriage, no babies. Triggered a fembot telling her it's their ego protection. Well, there you go. Oh, a video. Gotcha. Well, it's reality. We're not making this stuff up. This is an article that was written that Morgan Stanley did, and they are actually looking at the impact, because that's going to impact, their bottom line as well in some form or fashion. Carl says, good to see you, brother. The economic impact of this is going to be outstanding, astounding. Japan, here we come. Decades of stagflation if government keeps spending. Well said, Carl. Good to see you, brother. Women 26 to 35 get baby rabies and go crazy to get pregnant. Be careful. Yes, men. Watch your seed, or you will concede. Amen, Fred Stone. Childish and rarely childless from the start. But what do men do? Okay. If this is what's happening, what do we do as men? I watched a YouTube video with a Korean man. They laughed when asked when getting married. These guys are ahead of the game. Jedi Dark Force. They know something. MGTOW Forever. Good to see you from California. It's been a while since MGTOW Forever has graced with his presence. Good to have you back. Will's Adventure says, women in their 20s don't talk to me, creep. Oh, women in their 20s. Don't talk to me, you creep. Women in their 30s. He's talking to me. Women in their 40s. Why won't he talk to me? Women in the mid-40s. Please talk to me. That should be a triple exclamation. Women in their 50s. Here, kitty. There are some decent women in their 50s, but they're very rare. Most of them have kids or grandkids. Most of them have grandkids. Most of them are head-mended up. Most of them are angry. A lot of them are divorced. And, that proverbial wall is right in front of them, if they haven't gone over it yet. Europe's back. I think it'll be 95%. You might not be wrong, Europe. Good women never fall for a-holes. Some women are not guided by hypergamy. There's a 1% to 2%. We talked about that yesterday. That are decent women. But I do believe that even the decent women don't want a total nice pushover either. You have to be a stoic man. You have to be a man. There's a difference between being a man and a male. Salute Giga Chad Brad the Legends. FJT is back. In fact, I was just talking to Batman Forever today on the phone. We were talking about you. You talked to FJT? No, I haven't talked to him. He's going to the Dominican next week. And I said, FJT just got back from China and did a video. So check out his Chinese video from the legendary FJT. When they realize their mistake, it'll be too late and they will be bitter. You know what it comes down to? This whole MGTOW, red pill, hypergamy, Briefalt's law, everything, the manosphere, it comes down to one thing. Choices have consequences. Choices have consequences. If you choose to chase women, you will get the consequences of chasing women. If you choose to get married, you will have the consequences of marriage, which potentially could lead to divorce. If you choose to have a child, you could potentially have the state tell you when to see your kid. If you choose to be in your emotions, the consequences will be a lonely man. Choices have consequences. That is the bottom line of all of these channels. If she sees you high value, she will act submissive. When you get the divorce after 5 years max, and she will get the house, all the money, the kids, everything is planned by a lady. Europe is on par, brother. Good to have you. Good to have that comment. Jorn is back. Our Nordic brother. Transhumanism was planned a long time ago. People don't look at the healthy or attractive anymore over here in Holland. I said Nordic. I'm sorry. Holland. Negative eugenics. Food is corrupt too, as you know. Even the shampoos. I mean, if you really want to get nitty gritty in the plastic containers, they have what's called those chemicals that make men have estrogen. Hypergamy means she is never happy with you. If she finds a Giga Chad, after that, she wants an Ultra Chad and who's 9 feet tall. Europe, you're right. It's called the husband store. At the very top, there are no more left. One Mighty and Strong is back. Good to see you, brother. We will also see a huge rise of sugar mamas. Yeah, sure. A lot of women, I read an article, man, Troy, that women, it was in Cosmopolitan, 18 to 85 women are the most miserable of their life. That's what it said in the article, written by women. Wonder why. Now, it's not 100%, let's just say 98%. Marriage equals getting homeless and broke. Grandmother are more bitter these days, especially the newer ones. We also have to worry about retroactive laws. Look at the states changing sperm donor laws to go after sperm donor. You should put that video in, Stephen, that you sent to me A guy is having to pay child support after he signed the agreement saying they couldn't come after him, and a law was changed. Now the woman came after him, and she's getting quite a bit of money. Timmy Kramer, the forever bachelor. As long as man isn't responsible for a lady, he can stack cash like a sultan. There you go, brother. Good to see Timmy. Yeah, China was amazing. The hospitality was crazy. I never spent a dime on any food or any tour when I was there. Very nice people. Learn Chinese, and you'll see what I mean. Meow. That's awesome. Good for you, FJT. I'm glad you're killing it. 30 years old, paid off his house, traveling, giga, understands ladies. He's like the mini Timmy Kramer. Make no mistake, Islam takes over Western culture by not going. Yeah, but we're also seeing, Christian, good to have you, is there are Western influences now through the phone and social media in these countries. Will be interesting to see what happens. Peter from the UK is back. The UK is overpopulated, but the 45% childless won't stop the huge multicultural immigration. And it's happening. Big of a mistake, no consequences for them or their actions. Well said, Jedi. She is not cooking or cleaning or supporting her man. She is only on her smartphone 24/7. She brings nothing to the table, only nagging and drama. I would say 98% of them do. Their boyfriends and husbands are a little phone made by a company called Apple or Samsung. Mochi is back. Good to see you, brother. In reference to the laws, imagine an ex-wife or an ex-wife being able to go after you years later for financial support. Could be coming. Scary to think about that. Trog, the government won't let you off the hook for support, even if she had a seed donation from another. Well said. Good to see WHO is back as well. You're absolutely right. The most blue pill guys hate the truth. If you tell them as a red pill man the truth, they will say, no, not every woman is like that. No wall. Stay positive. I don't say every woman's like that. 98% are. 98% are. The wrong people in the UK are breeding. In Islam, marriage is considered a contract. Interesting, marriage, Roy. What happens if they divorce or try to? Don't try, says Charles Bukowski. FJT says, yes, sir, paid off the house, no debt, no wife, and no kids. I can travel anywhere I want. I worked extremely hard for this. Well, and you also used your brain and realized what return on investment would come if you saddled down yourself and had marriage and kids. Now, I'm not saying it wouldn't work out, but you've seen enough to know that that's not the path you would choose. Back in my man-ho days, I racked up some Middle Eastern women. Most of that religious is for pretend and show. Oh, I bet. Wasn't there a huge prawn star that was Islam or something? And they were trying to come after her? My last relationship was 7 years ago. To be honest, I don't see myself being in another one again. The world has changed. Well, one has to ask themselves, what would a relationship bring to you, right? UK, Pete says, dog children everywhere here in the UK, all dressed up like kids. 45% want a dog and not to be a responsible mother to a child. Women definitely have that nurturing bone in their body for pets. I was married with 2 Muslim women. They are the most demonic Karens in the world. Parental alienation with both of them. Dang. Dang, Europe. I think you need to think of marriage now as a contract, 5 years per contract, and have the mentality it's only your turn. Well, I think marriage should be literally, if the person, I think South Korea does this. If the man leaves the marriage, he gives everything to the wife. Kids, money, house, everything. If the woman leaves, she does the same thing. That's what needs to happen. But what about the dynamics of the marriage if you're married? Walking on eggshells, fighting, arguing, not having the sex. See, it doesn't get better. It becomes different. And I don't like the difference. I work with Muslim women here in the UK. Lots of them already divorced. No culture is immune from the feminist movement. Well said, brother. Ah, that's her. That's what I thought her name was. Jawara is back. Owner of the landscaping company wants to buy the ranch off me for $450. You got to give it up. What are you talking about, Jawara? Come on, man. Good to see you. Joseph Hoffman is back. Sad man, he says. Exactly. I was on the phone with a young lady yesterday, and she told me at least try marriage once. I said, nope, I'm never getting married. Good for you. That's the reason there's a prenup called maher, paid to the woman by the husband before they get married. Interesting. They do it different over there, don't they? Starter marriage is now a term. The first time I heard of starter marriage was about 5 or 6 years ago. Disgrace. False alligators destroys every contract. It has nothing to do with religion. Daddy government supports every woman. False alligators, and then you get destroyed. Yep. Timmy Kramer says, if a woman hasn't been trained to be feminine or understand her role, she will grow up and destroy every man in her path. So what does this mean if 45% of women will be single and childless? That's half the women in the United States. Let's just say it's United States. That's half of the women that could be wives and mothers and so forth. What happens to the man? Let's talk about that. Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate you being here, brother. So 45% will be single and childless. Could it be upwards of 60? And that might be a conservative estimate. A lot of these financial folks and articles and so forth keep a lot of it conservative. So it could be higher. Stephen Air, interesting to know that. I'm not going to mention her name because you never know what it'll flag it. 45% will be just too ugly to even go nearby, even the simps. I don't think you're wrong, Peter. Jawara, Mexico, my man. Maybe Vietnam, too. Marriage will leave a hollow shell of what you once were. Well, it's very difficult to maintain the dynamics and the warm fuzzies. That all wears off during the engagement process. It's amazing that men will continue to go down that road. I did it. Char's back. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for wrenching. Had an LTR. Sat that marriage and relationships have a max of 20 years and that we were supposed to fight on the regular. There you go. Man is right. I'm selling it because I'm creating a new chapter in my life. I don't need it anymore. I hate the miserable married men who give advice to younger men and say it's better for you to get married. Look at his face and ask yourself, does he look healthy and happy? 99% are not. It's just difficult to maintain, just the feelings of wanting to be around someone when you've been around someone it's normal. I don't like to be around my kids all the time. They don't like to be around me or my parents or my sisters or my friends. We need time to not be around so many people. We need to work on ourselves. We need to be alone and figure out how to move forward alone. 10 years. There you go, Trogue. I know if 60% of women are single and childless, be a lot of successful men well off and the government will intervene. Well, someone's got to let the young men know today that their father's relationships will not be their relationships. It's very different now. It's a monetized transactional world we live in. I'm sure that 45% is based on current estimates, but most likely does not calculate or consider men wishing up the marriage scam. There you go. I'm not buying a home. I'm going to travel, my man. I'm old and was married. I never ever give advice except run, don't marry, even if you knock them up. Europe says read Proverbs. Proverbs has got some great stuff. 21:19. I don't know that one, but I should check out more Proverbs. 80% of all U.S. women are overweight. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. As long as the 45% don't scrounge on welfare, as a taxpayer, I'm happy. Well, that's another thing. We're lucky to know what we know today. We're lucky to share with others what we have seen, what we've experienced, so that we don't get in the same predicament again. Just heard from Austria D that besides a workhorse, a wife sees her man as her prostitute. Resources, security, blank for SEX. It's the opposite of what man thinks by. Well, I believe that marriage is legalized prostitution. I really do, because there's transactions within it. You do this for me, I'll give this to you. I pay the house, you give me SEX, right? Char literally has a mathematical equation of a woman that rides the CC. 76 times 4 is a 304. It's rarely to find irregular-sized women. They're out there, but yeah, I mean, America is built on junk food, fast food, laziness. I mean, look at Netflix and Amazon and the television programs and YouTube. I'm on my phone too much, but I'm also looking at YouTube videos and learning and so forth. But it has made us zombies. We are basically, The Walking Dead is not a story or a show. It's reality. Where will you stay? You need some permanent address? I'll stay around. I'll probably find a little place to rent for a little bit. Non-traditional women want traditional men. Isn't that interesting? I just saw a YouTube about a 304 that rode the CC for quite some time, and she wants a strong, masculine man. What? I'm watching this. You want a strong, masculine man? And you're masculine? They don't exist because they don't want to be around masculine women. It's not hard. Well said, WHO. I have to catch up on yesterday's stream. It's there. Rowdy, did you see my link? Yes, I sure did today. 45% or so, UGLY, they ain't got no alibi. They just shouldn't breed anyways. Well said, Peter. 2 times divorced and lost over 150,000 euros in Germany. If I will get married again, I will be homeless. God save me from these demons. Well, what did you get out of the first 2, right? And this is what we try to say. It's not the fact that you tried. Now you've gone through it twice. You're never going to do it again, and you still have time to have a decent life. A great life. As a permanent resident, just buy a plot of land in the desert for $2,000 and a P.O. box. Yeah, basically. There's a lot of mail forwarding services that I can get. Actually, you can send it to like a place in Texas or Florida, and then they'll scan it in. If you want it physically, they can send it to you and so forth. But I have completely... Mochi, that's funny. It's funny, but you might not be mistaken on that. I'm not going to lie. I'd rather hook up with strippers from Latvia City than get married. Well, you won't have a lot of overhead if you do that. That's for sure. Now, I've had 4 homes, my man. Homes are, they're with the rising interest rates. And for me, a home represents not freedom. So that's where I'm at in my life. Maybe if I was younger, I'd think that way. I don't hate women. I love them, but I hate masculine feminist women who hate men like we are demons. We men build everything in the world. Women only are blanking and eating snacks. Yeah, for real. I love women. Women are beautiful. Unfortunately, the dynamics between men's brains and women's brain does not compute. Does not compute. UPS store has P.O. boxes and mail services. Yep. There's a bunch of services out there for like nomads that you can have forwarded. I might have my sister be my P.O. box. We'll see. Jon Marel from Brooklyn. Yo, Rad. Brooklyn up in this piece. That is a true statement. And these females, the female Denise is their own. They broke Dusty's drizzle, soft guy era. There you go, brother. Jon Marel. That 450 grand would only last 5 to 6 years. Now, it would last a lot longer if you're in Mexico or Vietnam or Thailand. You retire on that. You put that 450 grand in a dividend producing, it gives you $1,500 a month in dividends. You never touch the principal. But it's all subjective. I don't hold hate for those 304s. I hold indifference. There you go. Indifference is the key that men need to understand. Simone from Italy is back. Good to see you. The most valuable thing is your peace of mind. Everything who wants to take yourself peace, no matter who it is, leave them and stay alone. It's far better. Europe isn't lying there. Men build and create, women take and destroy. Majority do. Oh, demise. Okay, I gotcha. Is it raining? Not no more. Drizzle's gotten pretty big lately. First I heard about was on Coach Greg Adams' channel. Is it raining? Not more drizzle. That's funny. The Walking Dead is real. It's called The Walking 304. There you go. If you mean Jack Murphy's Cookbook, you got to go Outlaws. Yeah, that look. The whole premise of my channel is to share our experience, share what works for others, keep people out of the swamp of family courts, keep people from deleting themselves and others, and to have a purposeful life. Man was not meant to chase women and put them on a pedestal to be central to their life. Women were complementary to men. They were meant to provide children and to care for them as they tilled and plowed the earth. Men were responsible to provide and protect. Love wasn't part of the equation. Romance was never part of the equation. That's fantasy. That was invented. Prostitution is illegal because it demystifies females and because it removes the carrot stick chase that elevates females over males. Yeah, absolutely. They don't like prostitution because you can pay for it. But don't we pay for it now? Somehow or some way? Now, I'm not going to keep my home. It's getting to the point where it's going to need repairs in the next couple of years. They don't make homes like they used to in the 70s. The biggest simps are passport bros. They're going to poor countries and banging all the Latinas who want a couple of dollars so they can buy their parents bread and rice. And again, a passport bro is still putting a woman central to their life. If you're going to have SCX in a country, you are still elevating women. There's no different going to a country or a brothel. Probably will be more adoption of children by the rainbow baby daddies. You got it, Pete. I saw a group in Orlando of 2 dads and 2 kids, and the kids seemed to be autistic or something. They didn't seem very normal. And then I saw a Skittles gal. She was a lesbian who had a kid that was way autistic. So their offspring, I don't think, are very, I don't know, they're different. So I was walking in my neighborhood and I saw a USPS postal truck in a cemetery. I guess they started delivering ballots. Of course they did. So Biden authorized the student loan forgiveness. And if he did, is the government going to say the 50% there's no retirement? It's best to just get somewhere where you can live comfortably and not have to worry what the government does. I mean, unfortunately, that's where we're at today. OnlyFans is happening. Did you guys see that Andrew Tate has to go to trial now? She will marry without love to enhance her social status. Well said, Jorn. I've always said this. Women love labels. They love to be titled wife, girlfriend. They love the label of being married and being a spouse. But they don't like what comes after that, which is hard work, sacrifice, being a co-pilot, listening to their husband or boyfriend. I've gained my confidence since I embarked on this journey. Today, I had to bring my old dog to the vet, showed no emotion, unlike my mom, and that is what men should do. Good job, Simone. Christian says, I think women should be around a while. Real men are not worthy of getting them married. Yeah, I don't recommend it anymore, guys. Brothels are better. You get to choose the one. There you go. True. Single mom or 304 by choice. McTowski is back. I haven't seen McTowski for a while. Good to see you. Ladies equals helpmate, nothing more. Good to see McTowski. He's an OG. He's an OG of this. She's probably one of the very first with Timmy and FJT and John Boston. Modern women are crybabies. Well, if they don't get what they want. I have a theory on that. The ones crying are better off. Joara says, Lars signature drum set coming soon. Yeah, I've seen it. You getting the yellow? Is it the painted yellow? STD rates are skyrocketing. Why take the chance? And so are false alligators. Go to a country for culture and learn the language. Don't be a passport simp. FJT, he's traveling countries for the experience of culture, food, geography, ancient artifacts. And if a lady pops in, I'm sure he won't turn her away. But he's not going for that. He learned what? FJT, I think, knows what, 4 languages now? All by the age of 30. Maybe all the yes men, like passport guys, leave the U.S. to protect their assets and boost poor countries with the influx of stable foreign money, pulls the influx of skills profession. Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to that. If you're going to a country and going to live, try to live like them. Become one of them. That's what we want people to do when they come here. STD, the new dip. There you go. Geron, and also these Filipinas are no different from Western ladies. Female nature is universal. You guys thinking these Filipinos are so superior? Well, I've watched a lot of these videos, and the man marries the whole family, cousins, second cousins, you name it. Megan Fox isn't getting married to Machine Gun Kelly. What a surprise. He's a total simp, too. Prince Charles was banging 2 other dudes' wives before he married Diane. Camilla was one of them. The other was named Dake, self-deleted, women all the same. Interesting. I thought Princess Di was a very attractive woman. She was 20 years younger than him. I mean, he scored. What an idiot. Goes back to that old prune, Camilla. My old self would choose external validation. The new me strives for inner peace. Well, I think you're right about that, and I think all of us at one point sought external validation. I know there are times in the marriage and I wanted her to validate what I've done for the family, but in the end, who cares? It's all, we can't control what people think or give to us. We have to give to ourselves and give to others if we feel so inclined, in a good way. Well said, WHO. The problem is that when men are in court, no matter what you say as a man, nobody is trusting you. Yeah, well, anybody that has a penis is subhuman in the courts. STD says, Jon Marel, blank transmitted demons. Technology has removed the need for females to feign submission. Males are giving females everything, and it's not enough. Males are already enslaved to females in their mind. You're not wrong, brother. Jon Marel, you got to get on it, man. You're one of the OGs. 304s want your seed. Yeah, because it entitles them an annuity of money. I find it hard to be around men who simp on women. So do I, Timmy. Mr. Hemi is back. Good to see Hemi. Chatting it up with everybody. But think about this. If the women are going to be single and childish, men have to focus. They're going to have to pay for it at brothels in Nevada or wherever. If they want that, the majority are going to still simp and chase after these non-marriageable, these women will not be in relation. You're not good enough. It doesn't matter who you are. You're not good enough for these 45%. They want the world. I'm not a fan of the sharp guy, Edward Hopkins, but he did a video on the husband store that I thought was very interesting. Other than that, the guy's a weird dude. From what I know, these simps are spreading the disease of pedestalizing to the east, and the Filipinos are getting westernized now. Oh, yeah. I mean, go watch videos on YouTube of guys that have gone to the Philippines, and they're like, yeah, it didn't work because she wanted, the moment I quit paying the family, she cut me off. Again, they're just extracting resources in this, what's the word, innocent way. We love our American men. But at the end of the day, they want the resources as well. If you're around the simp, the show is just starting. It usually doesn't end well. Well, nice guy simps are the most dangerous men in the world. Stay away from them. Their emotions will delete somebody or self-delete themselves. At work now, enjoying the stream. Have a wonderful Friday, rad gentlemen. Good to have you, Big Vegas. Save yourself and stay single and stack that green paper. Good to have Big Vegas in the house. He's been coming to these streams for several years now. When a man retains your seed, you retain your pride. Better to stay single than to be miserably married and live like a slave. No matter what you do, it's wrong. Her nagging will kill your health. It's difficult. A lot of men suffer. Most men die first in a marriage. Go figure. Wonder why. When I told my mom that our dog couldn't walk anymore, she began crying as if he had already died. I told her not to do it in front of him. She ruined the peace I created. Nothing serious, fortunately. Yeah. Women definitely love their dogs. It's sad when they pass. Wish back page was still popping. Great times in the back page. Didn't that get like the U.S. Marshals overtake that or something? Mountain Monk says monk mode is peace. Well, there's only one person that talks to you in monk mode that you have to literally submit to, and that's yourself. There's no better person to be submissive to than yourself looking in the mirror. I'd rather stay out of society and let the simps and 304s take it. I'll just be a ghost. Keep stacking your Bitcoin, brother. There's a lot. You know what? Apparently, behind these successful OnlyFans gals are men that are responding to the inquiries from the simps paying them. It's not even the women. Sharp said his gal was a hard 9 until her photo was revealed. She ain't attractive. That dude ain't attractive either. So I guess there's someone for everyone. It's all about resources. If it has a badge, that's the truth. She'll never love you. She's from the street and she loves the guy from the streets. I think 98% of them are right there, brother. The Fed shut it down. That's what I thought. We don't know about that, old Christian. I know miserably married men who go to the coffee shop and stay there 20 hours so he is not seeing his wife. Or they come home late, right? They don't want to come home. They sit. I know friends of mine that would sit in their driveway for 15 minutes talking to me. They didn't want to go in, right? She loves little Ray Ray, little Pookie Ray Ray. Come on, Pookie, come on, Ray Ray. Adam 22, he's married to a porn star. What's that tell you? No, I think the guy is weird. Ghost Nation rules, says Char. I love him too. In such situations, you have to stay calm. That was my point. Suffer in silence. Yeah. Golfed with the 83-year-old guy yesterday who has been married 4 times. I told him I'm never married and just enjoy the fruits of ladies. He said, you're one smart man. Well, you figured out external validation was a big scam, right? Jordan says 45% of all USA women by 2030, 81.765. Yeah, including female babies. Well said. Okay. Let's see. We got a new one. Garbage Day 99. If you guys are new, let me know where you're at. Women can't stand a man being happy if it doesn't involve them. Facts. Solid facts, Garbage Day. Where are you at? And if you've been here before, I don't recognize that. If you can't live with yourself, who can live with? Who can you live with? You ever get sick of yourself? Think about that. Ask yourself, do you ever get sick of yourself? Maybe, maybe not. I always buy Bitcoin Rad and continue to stack my SATS. Boy. I don't know much about him. I just know he married a porn star, and anyone that marries a porn star in my book is weird. All women are at a max, a 7. Don't forget they use tons of makeup, 3,000 photo filters, and when she opens her mouth, she'll become a 2 at max. Or when she takes it all off at night, her makeup. Interesting. The stream is cutthroat. When it ends, I'm catching up on yesterday. All right, Joaro, good to have you, brother. A woman's job is to notice when a man is happy and put an end to that silliness. There's a meme about that. I really don't think these femtards care about 2030 because there'll always be a simp. Yeah. I mean, look, the dynamics have changed so much. Women literally believe that they're princesses. 98% of women are princesses. If you don't, it's just reality. You know, when I was in high school, women liked to get attention. They sought attention from men in a different way. It wasn't as transparent as today. But today's modern woman, based on technology in the last 27 years, has destroyed so many relationships. So reality is gone in the swamp. If you want to destroy your ex-wife, show her indifference and level up mentally, physically, and financially in every possible way. Ignore her, replace her. Indifference is the opposite of love. Hate isn't. Hate's just a form of love. If you hate someone that much, you still think about them. You love them. And I remember reading an article about that. But indifference is when you don't give a damn. If they live or die or whatever, you just could care less. That's where I'm at, indifference. Now, every now and again, if I get a text, it brings up a little, what the fuck does she want now? A little anxiety at that point. Because she doesn't reach out unless she wants something. But other than that, don't really think about her very rarely. I probably think about her maybe 2% of the time, 5% of the time. And I don't think that's ever going away because I have kids. Christian Henny, I don't know much about him, but I saw him. He said some things on a podcast that I don't know much about him. But maybe I should look at more about him. Brother Rat is raw and uncut. Mountain Monk says men are just a walking ATM these days. At some point, a liberal court will rule that only fools with a legitimate relationship and simps are required. You know what, Stephen? You might not be wrong about that. The way the world is moving towards wokeness and that men are the enemy to the state, yeah, I don't think you're mistaken. A woman's phone is her mirror. They are in love with their image. Textbook narcissist. Truth. Indifference for the win. Indifference for 300, Trebek. $1,000 a month on makeup is insane. I'm guaranteeing, I think my ex-wife probably spends $10,000 a year on fillers, lips, haircuts, makeup, everything to do with her degrading looks as she ages. Can you imagine if I was being married and spending that kind of money plus all the additional medical costs? Women spend a lot of money maintaining their youth or trying to maintain their youth. Men don't really have to do that much. Now, my problem is my age spots. It drives me nuts sometimes. And apparently the only thing I can do is get a laser, but who cares at this point? An age spot just means you love the sun. All right, Christian. I get it. You are Adam 22 guy. Steven says he's a cuck. He's a weird dude, man. I saw a couple YouTubes that didn't flow with my version, my flavor of masculinity. He said he likes to pee sitting down. My old self, why doesn't she just want to hang with me? The new me, dinner with me, I cannot conceal that again. There you go. When you start learning these things, you become stronger and stronger every day. The one who cares the least. There you go. The one who cares the least. Stay in no contact with your ex. Delete everything, pictures, Facebook, buy a new phone, start fresh. You have to live in the present. Absolutely. Too many men live in the past. The past is the fantasy. The future is the fantasy. The reality is now. She will only love what you can do, never you. Boy, do they love differently. That is the absolute truth. Any man walking this earth is actively living in a soy society that hates him. Really think about that. Let that sink in. Yeah, we are the enemy of the state. We are the enemy of the state. And it's by design. Surf Shack 2's back. Thank God I'm not a woman. I think it'd be very difficult for a woman in today's modern world, how much pressure they have to look a certain way, to act a certain way, knowing that next January 1st comes, there's going to be a new 18-year-old. And as they get older, even 25-year-olds are probably getting upset that an 18-year-old is now getting the attention of the men they like. Right? I mean, let's be real. I love beautiful women. I love women that are 21 and over. I'm not one of these guys, I won't date a woman that's my daughter's age. Well, I will. I'll date one younger than the daughter. It's got to be at least 21 or hang out with. I don't like the word date. But that's what men are. And it's got to be a ton of pressure for ladies and girls today to realize that they're literally 12 months away from a new gal replacing them. And maybe they take that anger out on men. Maybe that's why they monkey branch all the time. They want some sort of power back. That, hey, they can just monkey branch from the guy. But we know what happens when hypergamy sets in. John says, Adam 22 is a major cuck. I think he's a cuck. But if Christian likes him, more power to you. The one who cares the least wins, flawless victory. And that's in sales too. The one who cares, that doesn't care, that has no attachment wins. That's what peace, quiet, and freedom is. But what do we do as married men? Men in relationships, we attach to the relationship. So in the end, we suffer when they leave. Free Slave Mind is back. Good to see you, brother. Never hate a woman or a man or anyone. Forgive, but never forget. Yeah, I agree. Just if someone does you wrong, you got to accept it. You have to accept it. It's already been done. Don't go emotional. Don't go crazy. If there's a legal recourse, maybe someone did you wrong and stole $25,000 when they were supposed to do something for your house or put on a new roof and they didn't do that, we'll go the legal ramifications and take them down. Get your money back. But if something else happens, just accept it and move on. There's really not much you can do. What are you going to do? Strike vengeance? Seeking vengeance, I have a theory on vengeance, but seeking vengeance is still giving power to the situation. Now, if something happened to my kid, I would want to avenge what happened. That's a different story. Modern women are doing great. They are enjoying their zoo time with 10 cats, 2 tigers, and 2 pandas, and 500 boxes of wine. They are so happy. I can see their happiness on their face. Are the empty boxes of wine in the garbage or in the cupboard? They spend 85%. Yeah. Women the wives run the checkbooks for the husband. So there you go. You were just joking. There you go. I figured out that my anxiety was caused by prawn. Staying away from it is doing wonders for me. Good for you. Well, prawn at the end of the day, for a lot of people, makes them feel guilty. And guilt is not a good feeling to walk around with. You can't blame the shark for swimming in the ocean. No, you accept it. You accept that there's sharks. If you're going to swim in the ocean around sharks, you better understand the consequences. Good to see you, Sack. Thanks for sending those videos the other day. Sack, or Cheikh Ama, is our man that has been sending me all of my old videos. We respect our brother Sack over there across the pond. Good to have you, brother. If you can find those Mexican and Guatemalan videos, I'd love it. Where I'm walking around. There you go. There you go, Christian. I've never, ever been so calm in my whole life. Well, peace, quiet, and freedom is what men desire. Mike P's back. I like doing things myself. I haven't been on a date in a while, and I'm okay with that. Good for you. Will Murphy says, I've noticed everything a woman says to a man in a relationship is to have some form of control or power over them. You're not wrong. I don't understand how a man is attached to his ex-wife. Don't forget she is banging 50 guys in a month. How can you cry over 3 or 4? They live in the fantasy. That's why, Europe. They live when they first met her. They can't get out of that. Prawn leads to death grip syndrome, and you get unrealistic expectations. What did Ted Bundy say? He said he became who he was based on looking at dirty magazines. Mr. Sammy is back. It is a dish best served cold. Well said. Mike P, you're better off going to a massage parlor once in a while. Zach says, really would like to start a channel over here on Red Pill. Here, major YouTuber on this topic have been banned. I don't know. Just keep it very, very quiet, I guess, in how you speak. Good thing old Christian was joking. Thought we needed to have an intervention. I think that Adam 22 he's a weird dude, man. Thank God every day that your ex left you, better be divorced and to live like a cuck. It's a gift. It really is. She did give me a gift. She gave me a gift of understanding female nature, of understanding who I was and what I was, who I became. That's how I'm looking at it now. What she did in the marriage and what she did after the divorce, yeah, those are certain issues. But I also got to look at the fact that I wouldn't be here talking to you and having a great life if it wasn't for what she did or what I did. They might be cheaper. Well said. SCE, my master wrench is back. Good to see you, brother. You take your time, Sack. You take your time. No rush. Jem Powers in the house. Good to see Jem. Haven't seen you for a while. Just whenever you do, don't let yourself get attached. And if you get SCX, wrap it up. Well, the Buddhist monks talk about attachment. Attachment is the suffering. When you attach to an outcome, when you attach to somebody or something and you don't get it, you suffer. So be unattachable, right? Rich is back. Good to see Rich. The devil's behind all of this confusion. He is laughing. It's all planned. You're right. If you like living with female Bengal tiger for 3 years in your living room, then maybe marriage is something for you. Esther Vilara, the manipulated man. Man, was she scorned by the world when she wrote that book? It was out in 71, I believe. All right, I hate to leave, but I have a date with a cheese steak rice bean burrito with ranch. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. My ex, monkey branch from me straight to hell. Oh, there you go. Choices have consequences. I've had bad examples while growing up. This led me to deal with pressure. Say a bad word and you're out. There you go. Paul Schmecker is back. Good to see Paul. I was here yesterday. Mind your own business. Do the things that bring peace, quiet, and freedom. That's why we're here. Just got off the picker putting away tire at work. There you go. Working hard by the sweat of your brow. As he says, he has the right idea. DMan is bad. Good to see DMan putting up my Rumble account. Thanks, brother, for being here. To all my brothers in the chat, don't trust these dating coaches that say they're red pill. They only want your money. Truth. 1971. I was right on. Rad, any news on Eminem? Nah, I don't really follow the guy. I think Vietnamese women there's some good looking ones. I've seen some good looking ones. I think there are some Asians that are quite attractive. I think Korean women are very attractive. I don't know about Japanese women. I think there's some, I think all women in all cultures, there are attractive ones. Absolutely. Latin America. The USA has attractive women. Canada's got some attractive women. Europe. Spain. All men must learn you can't buy attraction. If she likes you, she will sense it. And if you show her your money, she'll use you for dinner dates. Man, if you like a woman, they are unattracted to you. The majority. They are unattracted to you. If you're stoic and indifferent, that's what they want. I've proven it. Abuse the button. Thank you, Char. I had to say that. Cancel all Skittle hair women for 300 Trebek. Truth. I know you might hear it a lot, but you saved my life when I was going through my toughest times in life and opened my mind to a whole new world of MGTOW. Thanks for being here, Big Vegas. You know what? There's a lot of guys. Guys help me as well. I mean, and this is what we do. We just pay it forward. We say, we got something to say, and we know there's brothers out there struggling, that there's men that don't know where to turn, and there's men going through divorce right now that are being served today on a Friday afternoon with the sheriff telling them to get out of the house, and they have nowhere to go, and their world just crashed. And this is what we do, and hopefully they find us. So good for you, Big Vegas, for sharing your story and being here. North Korean women are a bombshell thin. I don't think there's that North Korean woman that's making the rounds and talking about North Korea. She seems to be attractive. She looks like she's got some fillers though. World is full of beautiful women. Beauty is never a problem. It's the rest of the package that is the issue. I asked somebody, if women didn't have genitals, would they still be desired by men? And it was like 100% no. So there's obviously, we men are visual. We are physical. We love to lay with women. We love to touch women, be with women, lay with women. And that is who we are. Now, outside of that, men at one point have the desire to build something with women, to build a family, to build a relationship. That right now is, has been for some time, not recommended. It's too difficult to maintain. The programming today is, men have no place in the programming today. That's really what it comes down to. The kryptonite is MGTOW. Well said, Europe. She is strong and independent. She became She-Hulk. Well, they're masculine. Women are masculine now. I just saw today, I went to the gym. There's 2 women that drive these huge F-150 Raptors. They're what, 5'2"? Why are you driving a Raptor? You're in men's spaces. It's weird. Patricia O'Neill said it best, women don't know how to be lovable. Will Murphy. I think Chris Rock said something about that as well. Well said, Will. That lady on Joe Rogan talked about eating bugs. Yes, that's what I'm referring to. She's been on a couple of other ones. That one Navy SEAL guy with the bald head. I think his name's Sean somebody. No, they're annoying AF, says Paul. My brother is an alkie. He had to come over tonight. My mom let him in and then go out. I stayed inside since this is my house. Toxic parents create toxic kids. I think a lot of the issues with delinquent children are both parents are not on the same page. It's simple as that. My parents were on the same page. My parents really didn't have delinquent children. My sister was a 304, but 1 out of 6 ain't too bad. Free Slave says, I went from wanting to build a family to wanting to build by myself, for myself, no more giving energy to 304s. Again, men need a reminder every time they see a woman, like a visual or something on their phone that rings a bell that says, return on investment, alert, return on investment. If they can't engage physically, they usually have absolutely nothing to offer a man who takes care of himself. MJT is self-preservation. Well said, SCE. Well said. Solid. Jacko or David? Is it David? Sean Ryan. It's Sean Ryan. Well said, Trog. That's what I'm talking about. He's had the Korean gal on. Building a relationship with Christ has been life-changing for me for kicking prawn, losing weight, and being laser focused on personal excellence. There's nothing wrong about following religious icons. In Christ had a lot of great things to say. And I've known people that have given their lives over to Christ and have improved themselves beyond leaps and bounds. So good for you, Stephen. Jocko Willing is what I was thinking. I like Jocko too. I think he's got some good stuff. He's a very masculine man. Yeah, my parents were on the same page, Simone. They supported each other, whether it was disciplining us, doing the things, if I got in trouble, my parents were on the same page. My mom did not defend me over my dad. My mom was on my dad's side. My dad was always on my mom's side. They drive Raptors to Hull Kitty Ligger. There you go. Teddy Boy Smith from the UK is back. Good to see you. Scotty is in the house. He's going live tonight. 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific, I believe. Scotty says, let them be single and childless. Choices have consequences, don't they, Scotty? A lot of Navy SEAL YouTubers. Well, they're fascinating to listen to, right? Danger, Will Robinson. There you go. Timothy is back. To quote another, give them nothing. When I spend my nights wanting to fall asleep, I like to watch some of these YouTube shorts and things. And I typically will get a topic like quantum physics or, living, nomad living and things like that. And more educational than anything. And that's what I like to spend my time after, working out or whatever, playing guitar, mountain biking, just looking at things to increase my knowledge of the world, whether it's investing, whether it's, different. Now, my desire now is to see the world and experience the world. Who's your favorite drummer, guitar player, then favorite singer? My favorite guitar player is probably Johnny Marr or Billy Duffy from the Cult. My favorite singer. Oh, geez, that's a tough one. It would depend on the genre. Favorite drummer? Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses. I think he's the best. Being on the same page is great. You can't change a grown-up man if he doesn't want to. I wanted to change, and change happened. Sometimes we have to realize that there's a force that's looking out for us. And I think the force that was looking out for me was the divorce. So there was an intelligent force in the universe that said, you better get ready for this, but it's going to turn you into an amazing person and have an amazing life down the road. It's going to come with tons of speed bumps, tons of burnt bridges, tons of bombs in your life, tons of rejection, tons of sadness. But if you can weather that, you're going to be okay and you're going to have a great life. It's going to take a few years. And that's what the intelligent force, call it God or Brahma, or, a universal mathematical equation that's in the universe. God woke me up. And I use God as in that labels all of that. So if you're an atheist or whatever, God to me is an infinite intelligence of the universe. And it woke me up. But I had to go through that fire. I had to walk those coals to get to this point. I had to go through the pain and suffering and the destruction of my heart, if you will, or what I thought was my heart, to understand truly the dynamics of life. Now, people can call me negative all they want. I'm never getting married again. I'm never living with a woman. I'm never using emotions ever once again, because I know what's behind those. I know what life is. When I put something and someone first, I attach to that outcome. That outcome involves some sort of chemical interaction in my gut. And then all the shit happens. I choose to find a life that doesn't involve that. Timothy says his motorcycle and his dog bring him happiness. Peace, quiet, and freedom, my man. I don't think that motorcycle talks back to you, or that dog, does it? God, the universe, or whatever you term, will never give you a challenge you cannot handle. They are all learning experiences for growth. Well said. Read the story of Job in the Bible, who lost everything, praised God, and he was given 10 times more than anything he lost. To me, it doesn't matter the financial position. It matters what I'm getting emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually within. That would be a genius app that instantly gives you a reminder for the terrible ROI whenever a sim session. Guys, we all have to take our red pills every day. This is a game you don't win the moment you wake up. My mom always tells me, when you become a parent, you'll understand what I've been going through. I replied, I don't accept disrespect. It doesn't matter if it's my own blood. You know, and that's how it is. Don't know much about Tate, but apparently he's on trial. Her second marriage will be more dramatic than the first. Her new man will get the hurricanes 100 times faster. Eat your pizza and laugh. You know, be sorry for the next guy. I did a video about that. Be sorry. He's going to have the worst. He's getting everything that she gave you by 100 times. Well said, Europe. Rad is dropping truth bombs. SC, Rad will never be rickrolled again. But I'm not a monk. I'm not a monk. I've made that clear. And I love my monk brothers. And I think monk living is wonderful. If every now and again, you know, I don't mind. I like the Jonathan Noble way, really. But I don't seek that. There's people I'll hang out with. But in the end, I'm the captain of my plane, and you should be as well. Captain of your plane gets to decide where to fly it, when to fly it, how to fly it, with whom to fly it, and with whatever you want to put inside it. What better way to live? You can invite whoever you want on your plane. Right? So back to this whole deal. What do men do? What if we realize that 45% are going to be childless and single? We accept it and go have a great life. Go travel like FJT. Go learn. Go camping. Go play golf like Timmy Kramer. Play your bass like John Boston. And everything else. Wes is out there traveling the world after he woke up to realize that he could be his best friend. And he took that first step, driving to Denver a couple years ago. Scared as hell. Unknown surroundings, a change he's never done. He drove to a weekend, stayed by himself, and found out a new version of himself and liked it so much that he continued with that person. That's what we're here for. Whatever you've gone through, you can get through it. And it sucks. Oh, it's the worst. I don't wish divorce on, I don't wish family courts on anybody. My worst enemies. There is no man stronger than family court. No man. FJT, people can call me names and shame me. I don't care. I'm never getting married. They can stay mad and go F themselves. Great divorce is, I think, 50 and over, and I was served divorce papers at 43, so I missed it, which is good, and I've been able to build back better. My world. I noticed that your videos have less engagement ratios compared to the same months ago. I think we're being throttled here. It's as simple as that. Ant-Man is back. Rad in the house, just saying what's up. Good to see you. Keep up. Keep waking up closed minds. Good to have you back. And I'm with you. The Jonathan Noble way is the only way. And he's a divorce lawyer. A divorce lawyer knows more about marriage than all of the marriage therapists combined. But again, I don't wish family court on anybody. There is no man stronger that can defeat prejudice, that can defeat the Duluth model. You have to have money and a very, very good lawyer that knows everybody in the system. That's as simple as that. Men, if some guy's like, yeah, I can go in and beat, show my alpha and hold frame. Nah, you have no frame, zero. You hide behind your good attorney and pay a lot of money for it and hope the outcome is favorable and fair. I wanted 50-50 of everything. That's it. She was entitled to 50%, and so was I, of the kids, of the money, and she worked, so she didn't get alimony, and that's all I wanted. And we split the shit up. But I don't wish it on anyone. That's why I tell people, I don't care who you are. You do, and I'm in a very conservative state that love the family. And we still struggle, men here, with seeing their kids. Simone, this platform always silences people before the elections. It sure does. Well said, SCE. Mysterio from Winnipeg. So 2 streets this week, long form and 1 short. I don't know. I might do a weekend. We'll see. I just had some stuff that I wanted to bring about and talk to the wonderful gentlemen in the chat and those that are listening. But Rad, all you do is all you need to do is hold frame. Yep. Well said. K-Ram, good to have you. You can't get alimony if you work. Well, it depends. Depends on the jurisdiction. If you have a skill, it's very difficult. And if you've worked over a certain amount of time, it could be reduced. But for the most part, mine was a professional, skilled professional that had worked. So alimony was not on the equation because she was not barefoot and pregnant. But there's a lot of guys paying it when they really don't have to. What do you think of mediation? I went to mediation. I think it's a joke. I think it was a joke. It was a waste of money. It cost $2,000 for 4 hours to sit there and tell my attorney I'm not doing anything she says. Total money grab. Don't chase these chicks so they hoe you down into chuckling mode for real guys. There you go. When you SCX a woman, you're in their world, but when you get in their mind, they're in your world. There you go. I think I remember seeing that on the soft white underbelly. Mediation is another word for compromise. Yeah, I didn't compromise because she wanted a lot of stuff. You know what I compromised on? What I wanted, which is 50% of everything, which is the only thing fair if you're a husband and a wife or a mother and father and have kids and assets. Everything down the middle. That's what I wanted. I didn't want any more. I wanted what was favorable and fair to a man and a woman going through divorce that had kids. Simple as that. I didn't steal from her. I didn't take anything. I didn't hide anything. And she didn't do it with me. And, eventually we got to that point. It took a long time. It took a lot of money. Yeah, $2,000 for, I was probably 3 hours. It was mandatory. It was an hour for him to drive there, an hour and a half for drive back, and 2 hours. It was mandatory 120 minutes. At 120 minutes and 1 second, I cut it off and I was out. K-Ram. My guy was with me for 15 years and I stayed home to take care of the kids. I got a job last month to make money for the family. 3 weeks in, I find another girl's sweater on my couch. Interesting. Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but at least you stayed home and took care of the kids. Not every man is a good man. Let's be real. I call out men all the time. I don't know what the dynamics were in your situation, but it's unfortunate when any family when any man and wife or a couple have kids that break up. It's so damaging to the kids. But appreciate the comment. Don't forget the review hearing after mediation that goes nowhere. Shine. Travis is right, man. Travis knows what up. When you stop chasing the BS, you realize nobody cares about you. At least we have this community. Yeah. I think let's go back to K-Ram's statement. I think there's a lot of men that want to I wanted to keep my marriage together. Was it the right thing to do? Probably not. I mean, we've grown apart, but it was for the kids. It was for something we built. It didn't work out. And God bless her for moving on. God bless me for moving on, and hopefully things work out. But I have no desire to talk to the ex. There's really nothing to talk about. We're not friends. We're not lovers. We're not intimate. We're not married. We're not boyfriend, girlfriend. We are the parents of 3 kids. Simple as that. Her chapter is turn the page, and so is mine. All I can do is hopefully she makes good choices, so she is a positive influence for the 3 kids we share. Well, there's times in me that I was up angry and not nice about her, but I move forward. I don't like it when she texts me or reaches out because it's usually she wants something. Good for you, brother. Polska is back. Good to see Polska. Polska is delivering flowers that simps provide OnlyFans. My ex is delusional enough to think I'm going to play stepdaddy to her infidelity child. No thanks, brother. They want to remove this community, comparing the truths to their ability to screw everyone over. Truth. Megatron is back. Good to see you, brother. Hope all is good with you. Scotty says, all the rulers have never wanted critical thinkers. No, they want to keep us absolutely stupid. Right? That's why television is so big. That's why Goofball Swift is out there making music to literally distract. Remember, distraction is the #1 tool that's used so that we don't think. One of my coworkers recently told me that his ex lied and said that he blanked her. He had to sit behind bars and lost vision. Yeah. I mean, it happens here in this chat. We know guys that were falsely alligator. Father Saunders, one fast stack. Good for you, K-Ram. Do it for the kids. Unfortunately, dynamics of relationships are very difficult, even with kids, even how great you are together. Infidelity is on the rise. All you can do is take care of yourself and be a good mom and respect. And in front of the kids, you're going to have a better life. And unfortunately, what he did, if he was unfaithful to you, he was unfaithful to you, not the kids. And sometimes he could be the worst husband, but the greatest father. And so I would respect the father in front of the kids. That'll go much further than most of the women out there today. I think, fortunately, mine, now behind closed doors when I wasn't there, I know that apparently she never said bad things about me. I hope not, but I really didn't do it in front of the kids. I would always say to my kids, if I find out you're treating your mom bad, you're going to have a problem with me. There you go, Simone. See, Scotty, a well-educated society doesn't tolerate even the minuscule amounts of BS. Take a look at Russia. What is Russia doing? What is Vladimir Putin leading his country? He's a true leader, regardless if you like his politics or not. He has a 70% approval rating from his people. Do you think those people are stupid? No, I don't think so. Strong leadership is what the world lacks, especially with Potato Joe. That guy's not a leader. I don't know what he is. See, this is why freedom of assembly is feared. Yep. And I'm with you, Free Slave Mind. That person is all over the news. Can't stand that person. Family is a distraction. Affairs are destructive. Put the two together, becomes a chemical imbalance. Well said, Mega. We shouldn't even be at this point, but people become top complacent and dumb. Idiocracy. What a great movie. Idiocracy is the reality we live in now. Absolutely. This explains our current indoctrination system and its outcomes. Well said, ACE. The men's rights are broken, and it is cold, but it's reality. We have to accept it. We have to accept the programming today. We have to accept what family courts do to men and relations and families. We can't change it. The only way we change it is by not playing into the system, by understanding by staying way the hell away from shark-infested waters. It's crazy to think just 15 years ago, if you talked about stuff like this, most people, including men, would think you just take, yeah, I 100%. If this wasn't been talked about 15 years ago, I'd be considered labeled this and that. He's an angry man. I'm not angry. I just accept reality. If you think that's anger, you got a problem, because your version of reality is not my version of reality. They tell women now that they deserve an affair that'll make the marriage stronger. I've heard that. There's some woman that's a professional, like, infidelity player that goes around and sleeps with women's husbands and they have a better relationship. What kind of delusional thinking is that? So OnlyFans is the appropriate name for that platform, only just to look ahead with what the world is coming to, with what women are doing, what men are doing. Let's hold men accountable for simping. Let's hold men accountable for allowing the destruction of the family. Do we do that? There's a lot of channels that downplay the ladies, but what about us? What have we allowed in? We've allowed too much because we are too afraid to put our foot down and to hold a certain boundary for fear the woman would not validate us anymore. For fear the woman not want to be with us, would lay with us, tell them they love us. So what do? We let off the gas pedal so we can just coast. We don't lead. We react. We don't act. We go with the flow to make things easier. This is the problem. We have become so weakened that reality is showing us exactly what our weakness has become. Right? Stephen says the Jezebel spirit, it's alive and well. Jawara, hardcore stream here. It is the truth. That's another thing. Look at this woman that is a billionaire now by singing about broken relationships and how much she hates her old boyfriends. But she is the most unattractive. The only thing positive about her is her parents are still together and apparently she likes her dad. That's it. But look at the music she's making. Look at the Skittles she's promoting. She is actually, I know that the current administration is trying to get her to endorse Potato Joe. That's how much of an influence this nitwit has. My daughter went to her when she was 11 years old and Taylor Swift was 15. And she was a folk singer and she was how to give women encouragement to whatever. And now look at her. Ghost Pirate, good to see you, brother. Broco, don't sleep with married or attached single. Never sleep with a friend's girl, a married woman. Greg Adams talked about this. A man that sleeps with another married man's wife is literally 2 seconds away from being deleted and left in a ditch. Well said. They definitely, the Jezebel feeds off simp enablers. Couldn't have said it better. Good for that. Thanks, Ghost. Single mothers. And most women think they're younger than they are. And unfortunately, when I was 22, who doesn't want to be 22 again? That'd be great. I love my younger years. They were wonderful. A lot of energy, a lot of motivation. But we accept our reality. I'm turning 52. I accept it. There's some certain things I like to do. But that's, again, part of life. And we move forward. Revelation 2:9 and 3:9. She's Wiccan. Witches of Warlock. The witches in Salem, Massachusetts, had more rights than men going through family courts. K-Ram. Taylor Swift put a demonic sounding song about being a side chick and wanting to blank the wife. Yeah, not a fan of that, K-Ram. Not a fan of that person. Ghost Pirate. Blank grift. Ain't that the truth? I like the boxy shape of her 6-foot body. Is she 6 foot tall? It's very. I don't find her attractive. Her face, she looks weird. Well said. She's been with a lot of dudes. Yeah, I don't understand these new singers. I listen to what I grew up with. There's a couple new bands I listen to that are younger, but nah, I got plenty of music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s to keep me happy. Cameron says it's called Fortnite. There you go. It's called Old Demons, New Days, Nothing Has Changed. Well, it goes back to Adam and Eve. I mean, that's a problem. Here's the problem. There's two problems I see. Actually, there's two rules. There's two truths in this whole world. Choices have consequences. And reality is not fantasy. Whatever you do in life, if you eat a hamburger today with an ice cold beer, you have consequences from that. Good to see Primo again. Check out Primo's channel as well. And the other thing is one must accept reality. You don't accept reality, life's going to be a bitch. Most men are too docile and will fold in the drop of a dime. This is why women will continue to act wild. Well said, FJT. FJT, check out his channel with all these voicemails from women all over the world. The guy doesn't even talk about female nature. FJT demonstrates it. He actually has women on his channel leaving him voicemail messages going cray-cray. FJT doesn't say anything. He just lets the women talk. I don't know until I heard, oh shizzle, my husband is home. Well said, Mountain. Have you guys seen the meme of her next to Napoleon Dynamite, implying she is him? And I wonder about that. You never know, right, Ghost? I do like Highly Suspect. They're out of New York. I thought they were European for some reason. Yeah. Highly Suspect. It's got I like some of they're very different with a nice metal twist. An alternative metal, weird, cool. No, Rad. Consequences are racist. I can't say that. Thanks, DMan, for putting that up. With Swift, it's always the dudes that fault. Meanwhile, she has brick marks. She's just not attractive. I mean, man, Madonna at 65, any day over her. I know you guys think I'm crazy. I always thought Madonna was hot. Yeah, total 304 back. But like a Virgin Days, come on. Cycle messages say all you really need to know. There you go. There's Primo Living BC. Thanks for putting that up. Check out his channel as well. Moment of silence for all the young girls who followed the 15-year-old grift years ago. Well said, Jawara. I think they might be from Boston or New York. Check them out. And one of those places. How wonderful a life is when a goofball grift, Kim Nafashian and Glorilla are seen as inspirational. That's the world we live in. That is the world we live in. Delusion. Those delusional United States of America. There's FJT's channel. Thanks for doing that, D-Man. Yeah, Primo's got a channel. Drizzle Kings, Polska says. Well said, brother. Seraphim is in the house. Keep your garden tools. God, just give me my rib back. Stephen from Arizona. Hannah Barron to me is an ideal woman, Southern outdoor, who'll get her hands dirty with you. There you go. Ishi is back from California. Rad been MIA for a few. Your message is always gold, homie. Thanks for being here. He knows a thing or two about working with those nurses. This new entertainment is uninteresting to me because of the programming. Well, the programming is to put people in one direction, is to really make people stupid as hell. And to follow the agenda. Guys, there is subliminal messaging. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. You can look at subliminal messaging when Obama won. There's a huge documentary on how he used subliminal messages to get people to go to the polls and vote for him. It's quite fascinating to think about it, how much power a very few have over us, or try to have over us. Did Madonna mess with, let's see, Princess Syndrome for sure, Mega, 100%. PDS, Princess Destiny Syndrome. Didn't Madonna lay with Tupac? Probably. She was hot in the 90s, absolutely. My man Vanilla Ice got with her. Right? She's a horrible example now. You think she's getting married? Now she's with a football guy, a masculine guy. He's not really masculine. He might be masculine physically and with the football, but he's a goddamn lib. Any man that's a liberal is a feminine man in my world because he plays the victim card. It's as simple as that. You vote liberal, you're a victim, or you support victims. Or victim mentality, that everything, and blaming others. No accountability. Well said, Stephen. Yeah, DMan, that was a cool video. He's taking us to Egypt, Dominican, China. We've got to figure out where he's going next, but he's keeping it a secret. How many times has Madonna been married? I think only 2. You know that the global shippers use tactics that cause fights over color. The more that we're divided, the more easily they can manipulate everyone to better their positions. Well, I heard about that, SCE. I also heard that people use blue as the universal color in their brand. Yeah, FJT speaking some Chinese on that video. When I was not as fluent in English as I am now, I failed a test, told the examiner, "You're a nasty person." Saw a video of Tupac. Did I mention Seraphim? I did. Seraphim, good to see you again. Trogue says, saw a vid of Tupac pre-fame. He looked they AF or G. Well, he's a dancer in the Digital Underground video, Humpty. My name is Humpty. I got a big nose. I like my oatmeal lumpy. I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom. He's a dancer in that. Back when rap was clean. You be illin'. United people are a danger. We need borders. We need cultures. We can't have one world. I don't want to visit myself in another country. I don't want to visit the same country that I came from. I want to experience Thai food and Vietnamese food and Mexican food and Argentinian food and Spanish food. I want to learn different languages and cultures. This one world crap, we need to stop that crap. I think you're right. Joara. Thanks for participating, K-Ram. Yes. She's an alpha widow, Seraphim. Symbology. Yeah, and numerology as well. Japanese culture. And I like Japanese culture. I mean, cultures are great. We need borders, languages, and culture. The Cranberries. Zombie. She was my age. I can't believe she's gone. She's been gone for a few years. But the globalists need wide open borders. Well, it's a way to control, right? Yep. Easiest thing to keep us divided, Primo. No one makes it in Hollywood or music without selling your soul. Well, look about that new single from Justin Bieber. Apparently talks about selling his soul to Diddy. You're going to take a break from traveling, says FJT. China was the last country on my bucket, but if I decide to go, I'll show you guys. All right, brother. Well, the world is bamboozling. I mean, the red pill, or just the way of we think here, applies to not just relationships. That's 10% of it. It applies to government, education, purpose, programming, television, media, right? Lots of things. Family genetics, health, finances. Our relationships and women are just one part of it. when you truly open your eyes and realize that people want you to be, that there are certain powers that want to control others, you start thinking about things differently. But most people are awake and we're awake. Most people are just, they're already dead. They're just existing. Do you know that every day, man, I'm going long. I don't really go an hour and a half, but every day, 95% of your thoughts are the same thoughts you thought the day before, the day before, the day before. 95% of the 70,000 to 100,000 thoughts you have a day are the same identical thoughts. Why don't you try to go to 80%? Think how many new thoughts, new direction you would have. Japan has very strict policies, don't they, Trobe? I only like 3 cranberries, dreams linger, and zombie. They're all right. They're all right. Russia is on my bucket list due to my career that is sadly a no. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Free slave, you are 100% right with that one. I'm going to cut it in like 2 minutes, guys, because I've got to drain the main vein. Once you see the red pill behind the red pill, everything you see is all a lie. The system was made to destroy you from birth to death. Yeah, and there's a lot of people, I see, good that you bring this up. There's a lot of people that get so depressed knowing that everything that they thought was real was not real, or bamboozled us, and that life's not worth living. Life is worth living. Life is worth exploring, but exploring under this idea that what we've been taught is not accurate, or that the programming has convinced us otherwise. But exploring a world with this new thinking opens up so much more. No longer do we have to hide behind our feelings. You know, we can go forward in life by understanding what true reality is. And every time you see a video or an advertisement, what's behind that? What are they trying to get out? Great comment, I see. Great comment. 100,000 thoughts a day. No way. Most of these NPC think 5 to 10. Somebody actually did a study. It was like 70 to 100,000 thoughts a day. But these NPCs, yeah, they have 5 of them. The world of man is a lie. That's what the Buddha said. I've learned more by just joining RP live streams than sitting on my chair all day long back in compulsory education days. We are good that you are a young man that has found these channels. Marriage is on my bucket list. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, thanks for being here, you guys. Betty is back. Good to see Betty. Reading The Closing of American Mind by Bloom. What a book. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. I am happy to know the truth. I would be angry to be living a lie, though. I just wish I knew earlier. Well, I think a lot of us, we learn it when we're supposed to. You know, people say, I wish I would have learned it earlier. Well, you weren't supposed to. You weren't supposed to learn it. You might have been too immature. There was a book I read years ago when I was like mid-20s. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. I read it. I'm like, man, I don't understand anything this guy's saying. 10 years later, I read it. It made perfect sense. It's timing. It's absolute timing. Isn't there a study that shows most people, especially ladies, have no internal dialogue? Probably. Probably. That's another topic of another show. You guys have been great. Have a great weekend. If I'm not here, go enjoy life, rebel against defeat, chase excellence, masculinity, and of course, men first. I'm out.